Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today into the career of Demi Moore.
Demi Moore.
Yeah, you know her, right?
Of course.
But this isn't going to be just like a surface level thing.
No.
We're going deep.
Deep dive.
You gave me a ton of stuff to prep for this one.
I did.
Articles, interviews, like even excerpts from her memoir, Inside Out.
Right. It's a great book.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out how she gets to this point in 2025 where she wins a Golden Globe.
Wow.
For The Substance, of all things. It's not like classic Demi, right?
Not the rom-com queen we're used to.
No, not at all. So what's interesting to me, I think, is that her whole career, it kind of mirrors how Hollywood itself has changed.
Definitely.
Like how women are treated, even this whole thing about aging.
Huge theme there.
Okay, so to start, we got to go way back, right? To Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Not exactly the red carpets.
Far from it.
But the sources paint a pretty tough childhood for her.
It was.
But also this, like, drive
to
be in Hollywood. What surprised you about that? Like those early years before?
Well, I think what a lot of people don't realize is how young she was when she started.
Okay.
I mean, she's barely a teenager.
Really?
When she gets a role on General Hospital.
Wow.
So that shows you there's a drive there.
Right.
But also this vulnerability that she carries into her later roles.
Okay.
Think about St. Elmo's Fire, that raw energy.
Yeah.
It really captured a whole generation coming of age in the 80s.
The Brat Pack, right.
The Brat Pack, exactly.
But she wasn't just like one of the gang.
No, she stood out.
Was it like she had the girl next door thing, but also this kind of steeliness?
You got it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to compare her to the other Brat Pack actresses.
Okay.
There was a depth to her, even then.
Oh, interesting.
Not just the love interest, Right. She brought this complexity.
I see.
And that helped her become like a box office force.
With Ghost.
Exactly. Ghost in 1990.
Okay, Ghost. That's iconic.
Absolutely.
I mean, did anyone not try that pottery scene?
I know, right?
It's like, you gotta do it. But she doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
It's A Few Good Men, then Indecent Proposal.
Huge hits.
And by the early 90s, she's the highest paid actress.
Breaking records.
And that's where things get really interesting, I think.
Okay,
because this is a time when Hollywood wasn't exactly giving women great roles.
Not exactly.
But she takes a risk, chooses Striptease in 96.
Oh, yeah, Striptease.
Record-breaking salary again, but it flops with the critics, big time.
Right, and some people think it hurt her career.
So was it a feminist statement, a mistake,
right,
or something else entirely?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, it really sparked a lot of debate. Some people were like, this is empowering.
Right.
Others were like, this is just exploitation.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know now about her childhood, her drive, do you think this was her trying to, like, take control?
Maybe. It's possible.
Even if it backfired.
Her memoir does reveal a very independent spirit.
Okay.
A need to defy what people expect.
Right.
So, Striptease could have been her way of challenging the whole system.
Even if it meant consequences.
Right, and there were consequences. For a while.
She got typecast.
Yeah, similar roles kept coming her way.
Yeah.
She turned them down.
Wow.
So she takes a hit.
Yeah.
But she doesn't disappear.
No, she doesn't. And then we get G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane, wow.
Shaving her head.
Intense
physical training. It's like she's reclaiming her power.
Absolutely.
Through this incredibly demanding role.
Totally different from Striptease.
Right. It's like the opposite of that.
Completely.
G.I. Jane is about pushing limits.
Physical and mental.
Exactly.
It's Demi saying, hey, I'm more than just a pretty face.
And then Passion of Mind.
Another interesting choice.
She plays a woman with like two identities.
Dual identities.
Again, this desire to show her range, right?
Absolutely. She's not afraid of complexity.
But of course, the tabloids.
Oh, the tabloids.
They didn't care about any of that.
No, they didn't.
They were all about her marriages.
Right.
Bruce Willis first, then Ashton Kutcher.
Huge media frenzy.
Especially with that age gap.
Oh, yeah. That was everywhere.
It became this huge thing.
It did.
Did that, like, overshadow her work, do you think?
Absolutely. It was unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, how those relationships, especially with Kutcher, they kind of reflected what was happening in society.
How so?
They challenged the norms about age and relationship.
For women, especially.
Especially for women in Hollywood.
You'd think all that attention would, like, derail someone?
You would.
But she seemed to handle it.
You did.
With this, like, resilience.
Strength, for sure.
Almost like she's figuring out how to tell her own story.
Even with the tabloids spinning it their way.
And that brings us to the substance.
Ah, yes, the substance.
So unexpected.
A total curveball.
It's like everything she's learned, all her experiences.
It all comes together.
This dark, satirical body horror film.
It's a genre all its own.
So different from Ghost, right?
Worlds apart.
I mean, completely different worlds.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, body horror, it's
not for everyone.
No, not at all.
It's pretty out there.
It's like using the body, transformations, violations.
Yeah, it can get pretty graphic.
To explore these, like, deeper themes, you know?
Exactly. It's not just about the shock value.
Like Cronenberg's The Fly.
The classic.
Or, what was that one?
Titan.
Yeah, Titan. Intense.
Julia Ducournau, she's amazing.
So we've got Demi Moore in this setting.
Right.
Playing an aging actress, obsessed with youth.
Oh, the irony.
It's like meta almost, right?
It is. And the film, The Substance, it's a satire.
Okay.
On Hollywood, on this obsession with youth and beauty.
Makes sense.
Moore's character, Elizabeth Sparkle.
Sparkle.
She becomes this symbol, you know,
of what?
Of the pressure on women to stay young looking.
The things they do, right?
The lengths they go to.
And the cost, it takes a toll.
A huge toll.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
It's a powerful film.
But the critics, they loved her performance.
Yeah, they raved about it.
Saying she really goes there with the dark humor.
And the vulnerability.
Some even said it was her most fearless performance.
It might be, yeah.
And this is interesting too, right?
What's that?
This film, The Substance.
Yeah.
It premiered at Cannes.
Huge deal.
To like amazing reviews.
It was a turning point for her, I think.
Because...
Well, remember, at this point, she's been through so much.
Yeah, the tabloid.
Career setbacks.
Her memoir, Inside Out.
She put it all out there.
The Substance, it's like she's confronting all of it.
Head on, through the role.
So this Golden Globe she wins. It's not just about the performance itself.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's like this recognition of her whole journey.
Exactly. The talent, the resilience, the risk-taking.
And it's for Best Actress in musical or comedy.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, because this film...
It's dark, it's satirical.
Not your typical comedy?
Not at all. But that shows you the power of her performance.
It's like defying expectations.
Exactly. Breaking down categories.
What I find really interesting is that she didn't just, like, disappear after Striptease.
She could have.
Or after all those tabloid scandals.
She kept working.
She did.
Took smaller roles.
Yeah.
Independent films, like Blind.
I forgot about that one.
And Half-Light.
And then back to TV with Empire.
She never stopped experimenting.
Honing her craft, right.
Exactly. And that's what's kept her going.
It wasn't about chasing fame anymore.
No, it was about getting better.
As an artist.
Exactly.
And then her memoir, Inside Out.
Oh, such a powerful book.
Brutal honesty about her childhood, addictions, everything.
She didn't hold back.
Not your typical Hollywood tell-all, right?
No, it's much deeper than that.
And people responded to it.
They did, in a big way.
Especially women, I think.
They really connected with her.
Because she was so vulnerable.
Honest, open about her struggles.
It wasn't just, like, gossipy.
No, it was real relatable.
So she went from this, like, mysterious figure...
Untouchable, almost.
...to someone people felt they understood.
Yeah, there was a shift.
And that's what makes this Golden Globe win even more meaningful.
Right. It's not just a comeback.
It's like this evolution.
Of her as a person, an artist.
She refused to let the industry define her.
She took control.
And what's amazing...
Yoli.
...is that she didn't stop there. She kept pushing.
Oh, yeah. She didn't rest on her laurels.
She could have just taken the easy role.
The safe choices.
But she does feud. Capote versus the Swans.
Playing Anne Woodward. Wow.
A complex woman.
Trapped by societal expectations.
It's like this commitment.
To playing these multifaceted women.
Women who are often misunderstood.
Exactly.
So we see this whole trajectory.
Long career.
Early success, risks, setbacks.
Reinvention.
And now, critical acclaim, a Golden Globe.
It's quite a story.
But she doesn't stop there.
She keeps going.
She becomes a producer.
Oh,
focusing on women's stories.
Like the unbearable weight of massive talent.
That was a surprise hit.
It was, wasn't it?
What was it about that film that drew her in?
Well, it was clever. A fresh take on the action comedy genre.
Yeah.
But it also celebrated these strong, funny female characters.
Right. Sharon Horgan, Tiffany Haddish.
They were brilliant in it.
So it fits with her, like, her mission.
To challenge the status quo? Absolutely.
She tell different kinds of stories.
Exactly.
It seems like she's not just picking projects based on, box office potential. It's about amplifying voices that might not otherwise get heard.
That's a big part of it.
Which is pretty cool, I think.
It is. It shows a real commitment.
To something bigger than herself.
Yeah, she's using her influence.
And it lines up with her advocacy work, too, right?
Absolutely. Remember, she's been vocal about supporting women in the industry.
Equal pay. Fighting ageism.
She's putting her actions behind her words.
It's not just talk.
No, she's making a difference.
So it's acting, it's producing, it's advocacy.
She's not slowing down.
No, it's like she's building a legacy.
More than just a movie star.
Exactly. And that's a bigger shift we're seeing in Hollywood, too.
You think so?
Yeah, more actresses are doing this.
Taking control of their careers.
Becoming multi-hyphenates.
Using their platforms for change.
And Demi Moore, she's like at the forefront of that.
A pioneer. In a way.
And her Golden Globes win, it's just one part.
Of a much bigger story.
Of a really impactful career.
Absolutely.
It really is. And, thinking about all those years when the tabloids were just, like, obsessed with her.
Relentless they were.
Her personal life, more than her work.
Right.
Was that, like, a deliberate choice to stay quiet.
I think early on, there was this mystique around her.
Okay.
She didn't really engage with the gossip.
But then, after Inside Out...
Things changed.
It's like she decides to own her story.
To be more transparent. Even about the tough stuff, It's like
silence can be misunderstood.
Oh, definitely.
But honesty, even when it's, like, messy, it can really connect with people.
It's disarming.
So, back to our big question.
The Golden Globe.
What does it mean for her, for Hollywood?
Right.
Is it a comeback story? Evolution of her as an artist? Something else?
I think it's all of those things, honestly.
Yeah.
The comeback, that's obvious, right?
After being kind of pushed aside.
Exactly. And she comes back with this role.
That shows everyone what she can do.
Her range, her depth.
But it's also like years of taking risks.
Choosing interesting projects.
Working with directors who push her.
Challenging herself constantly.
The Golden Globes, it's like
a reward for all that.
It's saying, hey, she's still relevant.
On her own terms, which is important.
And it's not just awards either, right?
No, it's bigger than that.
It feels like she's become more than just a movie star.
An advocate, a producer.
A voice for women in a system that,
that hasn't always been fair to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Her influence goes beyond the screen now.
She's shaping the kinds of stories we see.
And that's powerful.
So where do you see her going from here?
It's hard to say, but I think she'll keep pushing boundaries.
Okay.
Choosing roles that matter, producing projects that make a difference.
And being vocal, right.
Oh, yeah. She won't shy away from speaking her mind.
Which is inspiring, I think.
It is. It shows other women.
That they can do the same.
Yeah, that they can take control, too.
You've nailed it, I think.
Glad to hear it.
Demi Moore's story, it's not just about Hollywood.
It's about life, really.
It's about resilience, reinvention.
Using your voice to make a difference.
It reminds us that success doesn't have to look a certain way.
It can be messy, unexpected.
But it's way more rewarding when you stay true to yourself.
Well said.
So, what do you all think? Is Demi Moore's Golden Globe
good question.
A sign of her talent? Hollywood finally recognizing her?
Maybe a bit of both.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Let us know.
Until next time, keep diving deep.